Hey, why should you watch this video to the end? Well, it's simple. I'm going to provide 3 stocks that are getting set up for next week, but most importantly, I'm going to show you how to save time searching for stocks every weekend. So if you're tired of putting in hours looking for great stocks, this video is for you. It's how to make money trading stocks for the week of November 21st. Let's get going with the video right now. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilburn, the Active Trend Trader. If for any reasons we get cut off, or if I have bandwidth issues and Zoom kicks me out, I will be back. Just hang on, because what happens when it does that is I actually have to log on, log back, log off, and log back on, and then jump on board. Say, hey, hi, Alex, how you doing? Hey, Alex, just to let you know, I will have that recording up this weekend of your great presentation to the Bay Area Moneymakers last Tuesday night. Excellent job. Good stuff. And so a big question I have to ask you today is, how much time do you waste every weekend looking for great stocks to trade? I know that, until I got my routine absolutely down, I was basically spending way too much time looking for stocks, and it was robbing me from being able to spend time with my lovely wife. And those of you who know her, she's much more lovely than I am. And so what I found is basically find a short list of stocks, and that is exactly that takes care of me, where I can actually get out and have some fun on the weekend and not having to utilize the constant search mode of looking for stocks. And then also the other thing that I've learned about doing, this is kind of, we're getting started with the tip for the day. Now I'll save this tip for the rest of it, is finding the good stocks is one thing. Knowing what to do with them is another. We'll cover that prior to getting done with the close. So gentlemen, welcome aboard, Steve and Anil. Good to see you guys. Anil, I see you're in a jacket. Is it getting to be cold back on the East Coast?
Yeah, I went outside. It was very windy. And it's cold and windy.
So yeah, Steve and I are suffering from the same thing over here. I think
I'll be joining Anil in a few days, though. I'm going to my daughter's in Minnesota.
Oh my! Yeah, that could be very severe. So, hey, we want to just continue to practice plan, patience, and persistence and profits. That they're planned for. I mean, we plan to do that. One of the things I was listening to this past weekend, and I'm always looking for how to get a better edge. And one of the things I was listening to, that pro athletes, especially golfers and all that kind of stuff, they actually verbalize as they rehearse what they're doing, and they speak out the expectations of what they do. And I just wonder how many of us could improve our trading if we literally talked through each and every trade out loud. It would probably feel weird the first couple of times, but I just really wonder if that could possibly help. I mean, pro athletes do it. And, do we think we're better than pro athletes, or that we don't need it? It might be an interesting thing to do. It just talk yourself through the trade. Excellent way to do it. So let's see. Are you spending, as I said earlier, hours looking for stocks every weekend? There is a better way. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. Mike Norton actually hit on it a little bit. Autopilot Trading System provides 7 great setups every week, and it's awesome. The Active Trend Trading System is proven, clear, and simple system. I'm very pleased and proud. We just hit 10 years of beating the S&P by double digits every year. So I'm really happy with, really pleased with that. And if you want to know more about that, hey, drop me a note and we can get you hooked up with the Autopilot Trading System. My yearly goal, 40% ROI, 65% win-loss ratio. Today we're going to be getting on market index review, stock picks of the week by our elite traders, and also our stocks setup. One of the things we started last week, had a little bit of fun with that. is we started off with a stock right off the get-go by one of our elite stock pickers and traders. And so I thought that was kind of fun. And so I think we're going to do it again today. So just remember, bad habits are easy to form, difficult to get rid of. At all times, be discerning and wary, because depending on whether the habit's good or bad, it is what you're rehearsing. So remember that all materials are presented for training purposes. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Okay, guys, who went first last week?
I really can't remember. I think I did. Huh?
Did Steve go first last week, Neil?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's jump over into the charts. Let me get this all the way up and through. There's where we sit on the 12th. We're up about 30, and then here's where we're sitting on the 19th. Not a lot of movement from last week, but we are moving in the right direction. That's what's important. We are moving in the direction. As I stipulated earlier in the year, I'm anticipating finishing the year off somewhere between 45 and 50%. That's my target. That's what I have adjusted my target to. Again, my baseline goal every year is 40%. I'm thinking that I can do another 15% through the end of the year. By implementing several of the things that we've learned from, that we've refined. And so that's my target. As we say, we get a little bit of a sell-off today, and the Dow is down over 100 points. S&P up slightly. NASDAQ up almost 100 points. Really crazy. And the Russell is hanging in there, and we'll take a look at those charts here shortly. So let's go ahead and jump over to, don't want to give anything away. So let's talk about a Neil stock, which is NXPI. All right. Ooh. Tell us about it, Anil.
Yeah, that's the company, I think, in Netherlands somewhere. It belongs to the semiconductor group. And I like the setups. My system caught it yesterday, so we can buy it right here, right now.
That looks absolutely excellent. So you're ready to buy right now, and if you go a swing low below that swing low right there, you're looking at less than a 4% stop loss, and excellent target up to the upside. It's almost it is actually, it's as far as the Investor Business Daily, you've got an excellent pattern here, and it's the old down up. It's the Investor Business Daily double bottom, and we are breaking out of that. So yeah, looks good. Those of you who are interested in trading this, it does have weekly options, which is a good thing, and the weekly options are they're a little bit light on the open interest, but looks good. And what triggered you onto this particular stock, Anil?
I just, like you were saying, selecting the stocks. I set up the system, my triple screen trading system, and it flashed a weekly signal on it. So I said, let's go for it. Okay. Yeah. Kind of a cup with handle type of process, or at least a double bottom that has broken out. So yeah, I like it. Looks good. Momentum has shifted, is shifting, the process of shifting back up. And so any news on it or anything like that is also causing you to say, hey, I like it? No, the earnings are already over. The mainly thing I look at the weekly MACD usually, and that's nice turnaround in the weekly MACD. And that's okay, excellent. Yeah, I've got earnings were on 11-1. And so, okay, let's go ahead, and now we'll jump over and just take a look at the indexes themselves. Let me erase the drawings. So what's going on with the index? First, let's take a look at the S&P. The S&P is
it basically for the last 2 weeks has been on a little, well, after pullback from last Wednesday, fell back down into the Fibonacci, but then didn't violate it, and now has worked its way back up this week. Now, the thing that is to notice is, I'm going to get rid of this Fibonacci here for a second, is that what's happened? Momentum has been almost dead flat for the last week and a half. That isn't something to be surprised about, but it may stay flat through the Thanksgiving week. And then how to play next week. Remember, Thursday is Thanksgiving, of course, the market is closed. Friday is Black Friday. It is a half a day trading, and it can be very volatile because they start getting the first recorded sales for the holiday season and that type of thing, and then I think what is it? The online shopping is on Monday, right? Or they do use the whole weekend. And I forget what they call it. Cyber Monday is what, that's what they call it. Cyber Monday. So that's what's going on. And I think the folks are looking for any kind of good news on the economy. Again, this index, while it looks like it may be getting to a place where it wants to roll over, there are no signs other than it keeps butting its head now against this 470 level. And until it breaks out above the 470 level, that will be kind of in a stuck position. The one thing to take a look at, though, as you are watching this, is take a look at the S&P itself. Is the S&P doing a similar type move? And the answer to that is yes. And so there's no divergence between, or no lagging between the S&P and the spiders. NASDAQ. All right, NASDAQ breaking out about above the high. So I would say that the NASDAQ now can turn into the strongest of the index between the S&P and the NASDAQ, those two indexes, and it's breaking out very nicely. How to look at trading this going forward into next week is, if you're looking at trading the S&P, look for a pullback down into this little zone, or it could get all the way back down into the 8 and the 20. One of the things, and I'll give you a little bit of a trading tip, is when you get a nice strong uptrend like we had going back into mid-October, you have a pullback. Your target pullback area is somewhere in that zone, at least my pullback target is somewhere between the 8 and the 20-day moving average. And as you can see, we pulled right back almost into the midsection of that last Wednesday and then did a nice reversal. We had with the other thing that is always, I'm going to have to do another video and put it on YouTube about how to utilize the market forecast. Look how rich this is. We had a two-line cluster when last Wednesday of last week. Two-line cluster, then it reversed and moved up. And I know that Mark Langenbacher uses the market forecast a lot, and I know you like how it works, Mark, and it really is predictive on when to anticipate, especially bullish turnarounds. What the rule is, somewhere between 1 and 4 trading periods. So this would be a weekly daily chart between 1 and 4 after you either get a 2-line cluster or a 3-line cluster. And of course, the 3-line clusters are even better and stronger. So keep your eye on that. I'm liking it. It is pushing higher. We had a breakout yesterday and a fulfillment of it today. So where's my potential pullback? My potential trade on the Qs, pulling back into probably the 20, or the 8 and or the 20. So I can literally place a trigger or a alert down there about, and I'm going to put it about 397. Next, Russell. Russell also, Russell's looking, okay. Russell's doing a nice little pullback. It has dropped down just a little bit today and did a little bit of a rebound. However, I'm going to be watching. I do not have a momentum shift back up to the upside. I do not have a bullish reversal signal. However, I am getting a spinning top doji, which is a line of indecision, a mark of indecision. Where at? Right at the 34-day moving average. So I would anticipate the potential of this moving on up. For the premium members and the autopilot trading members, we actually entered a trade on the 3-time leverage ETF at about the $99 levels this past weekend. I know some of you are in on that trade already. If you are a autopilot ETF or autopilot full member, you're getting that. And so, guys, that's what I'm looking for. I'm anticipating between now and going into December, a strong reversal. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm looking for history to repeat itself on the Russell and go, and basically run harder than the other indexes. That's where I'm at. Steve, Anil, thoughts?
Pretty much agree with what you're saying. I think we're in a cusp. The market's got to make a decision one way or the other. Continue on or pull back a little. We don't know what it's going to do. Yeah, I'm fairly bullish into the end of the year.
Yep. Yeah. I like it. Anil?
My triple screen system is holding steady. Everything's fine.
So on your triple screen, do you do the triple screen for each one of the indexes or just as a combination?
No, each one of them.
Okay. And so are they still showing a buy signal?
Yeah, they're within buy signal. No trouble. That's what they're saying.
Okay. Excellent. So there you go. You guys heard it. You heard it from the best of what we're looking at. And so, okay, let's go ahead and jump into, I really like this stock that, I always like the stock you guys pick. Steve has picked a great one again this week also. TTD.
Okay. I like the trade desk. It's been a long time favorite for mine, although for the last 3 months or so, it's gone nowhere. And then it's just recently broken out of a Wyckoff trading range from about, I can't see your dates there, but the week, let me go back to my weekly chart. From about the middle of February, it's really traded sideways.
Right.
And then 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, it broke out. And I think it was a legitimate breakout. And we're having a little bit of price weakness right now that I think makes TTD a buy right now. I like it's almost an inside bar action today, but I think we're bouncing for me, it looks like we're bouncing off the 4-period EMA.
Right.
I hope they would pull back further to the 8, but doesn't look like it's going to do so. So above today's high on Monday, I will be long. If we don't take out the high, then we may pull back further toward the 8 or between the 8 and the 20.
No, that's not.
You look at the price action to decide what's going on.
Oops. And so, no, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I like that, we had basically that little line there and then it reversed. And that was a great entry right about there. And that would have been when? There's your first trigger to get in on the week of June 21st. Then another one was the pullback and test, test. And I encourage everybody, learn how to trade those pullback and test. They will not, they basically will not do you wrong. And the thing about it is the pullback and test puts you really close to it reduces your risk quotient because you can then jump out, put you close to your stop loss, therefore reducing your exposure. Good pick, Steve. So are you buying it now or are you going to wait for a little pullback back into support?
I will buy it above today's high on Monday.
Okay.
If that doesn't happen, it's likely to pull back and I'll be looking for a lower entry.
Okay. Yeah. Really nice. Look at that buy volume right there. Biggest buy volume it's had And that must have been, yeah, that was a reaction to earnings.
Right.
Excellent. And good weekly options on this also. Okay. Drum roll, please. You ready?
All right, let it go.
Here he comes.
Nara. Okay.
Okay. I really like this setup. One is I've got my momentum indicators just starting to turn up. Now my longer term intermediate market forecast line is still going down. However, we did get a 2-line cross back up to the upside. And as I said, we had our 2-line cluster here on these 2 days here. What happens? We push down to a lower low. This is an absolutely fabulous hammer at a very strong level of support. In other words, the buyers were sitting right there. Anyway, we were sitting right there. We are getting a reversal signal today, depending on where today's candlestick closes. We will know whether we have a morning star. But I'm prepared. Let me get out of the drawing. And if anybody has a good, so I'm looking at, well, okay, if we bought it about where it's at right now, because we could do that. Well, I'm not going to sit there and let it go through a 12% or 13% run to lose. So I'm probably going to be looking at buying towards the middle of the day's candlestick with a stop just slightly below the 50-day moving average, which is about there. So, and as you can know, I'm not going to be more than 5%. So that's the way I can also set my system up to buy at that level. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, I did post let me show you what I posted. If I can find it. There we go. And if you're not following me, I did put a link into the chat box for everybody. Here's my Instagram account. I actually laid in a little short video on, is it time to buy Mara? First thing this morning. And then also if you are, follow us on I also place some really great tutorial videos on Market Tech Talk. And I also put a link to that in the chat box also. We appreciate your support in that. So Mara is my trade, guys.
Are you in it already, or are you looking to enter?
I'm looking to potentially either. Okay, I'm looking to enter a. Matter of fact, I'm target shooting, practice target shooting a option trade. That if we get down to about the midsection of today's candle, about the 53.50 level, I have a target shooting for let's see, I think the 17 December $55 call. I'll do I'll buy a few contracts of that, or I'll buy this, or I will buy the stock again with a stop just slightly below the 50-day moving average, which is right there. I'll give it a dime below the 50-day moving average. And so now for premium members of the active trend trading system, we're going to be talking about this trade. We'll be talking about this trade coming up at the final hour. And so, yeah, Barry, Barry makes a good point, and he points out that 5% stop loss doesn't get me to the 50-day moving average. Well, one, I use the EMAs, not the SMAs. But secondly, if that is my stop loss, and I don't want that to be more than 5%, let's say it's $50.25. Well, $50.25. That means my buy point will have to be about $52.70 to 80 cents, which makes it 5%. So I have to reverse engineer it to find out what my wholesale buy point is.
With hammers like this, Dennis, I like to enter the next day right at the high of the hammer. And in this case, you would have got in right at the open, right at pretty much at the lows of the day.
Yeah, if you're watching it.
Yeah. Oh, no, you could put a limit order in ahead of time the night before. Yeah.
Well, like I said, if I was watching it, this basically it alerted me this morning as I was going through my watch list. I said, aha, that's a pretty signal.
Yeah.
So, excellent.
It is good.
And let's see, let's go ahead and Guy, we're almost at the, we got a couple of, I had one request to, which one would you want us to take a look at? AAP or SYK? Alex, so we'll look at one of them. And and Steve, I agree also with that. I mean, if the hammer, The other way I like to work the hammer is I'll have two different entry points. One midsection of the lower wick, or the breakout above it, because that typically it's almost a 50% split on which of those happens. So let's take a look here at what's going on. Wow, this is Stryker. Stryker has, again, whenever I look at a new entity, I always like to say, okay, Stryker looks pretty good right now. Stryker is basically pulled down into a lower level of support. You see all the long tails there? Really good. It does not have weekly option. It has monthly options. Has okay open interest in that if I'm going out a month from now. I also like to run over here and do this. And this is a habit. And if it does not meet my stock checkup parameters, then I don't even entertain it. So this is SYK. So Steve or Anil, have you guys traded Stryker?
Not recently. Not recently.
Okay. So it has some dents in its composite rating is only 70%. Not that is below my 95% that I'm looking for. EPS is 76. Now, if you know something special about Stryker, that you have some like inside information, then all bets are off. You can trade that to your heart's delight. SMR rating, that accumulation distribution C-. That's kind of in the middle of the pack. It's neither being bought by the institutions or being sold by the institution. It's just kind of holding on. All the revisions down. A lot of red bleeding on the fundamentals on this. So from a fundamentals perspective, don't like it. However, from a technical standpoint, we're getting a really nice potential reversal signal here. This is right now a piercing line if it finishes where it's at. And so I can see this going, and it's in a sideways type of channel from about 256 all the way up to 277. And that equates to what? Let's just grab that up to the top. So you're talking about a 9 to 10% run there. So there you go. That's what I think about and that. So gentlemen, thank you very much. And I promised everybody that I would finish up that concept about the tip, if you will. The tip kind of goes like this: don't spend a lot of time trying to search through and find a lot of different stocks. IBD has great watch list. I go through 14 watch lists every Friday and then post my Power Rank Elite watch list, was somewhere between 15 and 20 stocks. And I share that with you for free. So that helps narrow down. If you just get that, you can, like I said, you can join Active Trend Trading for free on that. But the other thing is to save time and also maintain focus. Try to get your watch list down to somewhere you're trading only 5 to 7 stocks and our ETFs. And then I think that too helps clear your mind so you can focus on just a few. Hey, as I said, autopilot trading, we do that every week. We basically provide you a getting started video and then a bonus video through the week. And you get this, which is a pre-flight checklist, shows you exactly how I'm trading it and entering it. And this is for the stocks. And then I also have one for the ETFs, and for option traders, I actually have one for option traders now, but that's part of the premium service. So, hey, it's a little bit of, $83 a month paid for in 3 monthly payments, so $33.33 or $9.97 for the year. Again, save you a lot of time going forward when you engage your autopilot. So, Anil and Steve, thank you very much. Great picks today.
Enjoyed it.
Likewise.
And so, what are you guys going to do for Thanksgiving?
I'm headed to Minnesota.
Okay.
Visit my daughters, yeah.
Wow. Well, I hope you still have warm clothes to be able to wear there.
Fortunately, I do.
Okay. So, and Anil?
Well, we are celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That is absolutely awesome. No, congratulations.
Awesome, Anil.
And it just happens to be Thanksgiving Day. 50 years ago, it was the same thing. And we are going to Philadelphia and taking our family and just having a couple of 3 days relaxation and enjoyment.
That is absolutely awesome. Great. Fantastic. Happy anniversary. Pass on my regards to your wife.
Thank you.
So, guys, we'll be going up with premium members on the final hour at the top of the hour. And then, so remember, we're going to be starting to set up for our projected plans for 2022. And we will be utilizing basically, I'm going to probably do a launch 2022. I will be doing a special training on the first or second week in January. If you're wanting to get a leg up on how to get started in January or how to get started in 2022, that's going to be for you. So just remember, aloha, trade well, prosper, start building now and never stop. Okay, mahalo. God bless everybody. And remember, subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll see a new video right there. So aloha. God bless everybody.